everyone. I'm back. It's me, Mr. Evan, and this video is for French folk song. I'm going to play the piece through, just all the way through, so you get a sense of what it sounds like. Remember that the piece is in D major, 2 sharps, always third finger on the A and the D string, just like the scale we're doing. The piece is in 3/4, so there are 3 beats per measure. It's a little bit like a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I encourage, while I play this through, count to yourself, like we do in class. Count to yourself 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, to make sure that I'm holding the long notes long enough. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There you are. That's a little faster than you'll probably play it. You'll probably go 1, 2, 3, about that tempo. So not as fast as I played it, but you get a real sense of the 3 feeling, that the first note of each 3 is sort of the most important. 1, 2, 3. A couple things that are very important for playing this piece well that we've talked about a little bit in class. The note before the long note. So here. This note. Making sure that you spend your bow, that you open up right here. Open up the space here. So that you have enough room to play the long note to its full length. We don't want to use not very much bow and then not have enough and get that scratchy, squeaky, stuttering sound. We want to make sure we have enough bow, and we also want to make sure that the long note, we use a slower bow than the notes before it. These notes, we go all the way to the tape, the farthest tape in the bow. When we get there, we slow the bow down. The way to slow the bow down is to feel the front of your hand. So these fingers here, these 3, the thumb, the first finger, and the second finger here. And make sure we are slowing the bow down. It feels a little bit like bringing a plane down for a landing. We don't want to crash land the plane. Let it down slow and soft. Another way to think about that is each of these notes is a quarter note, but the long note is a dotted half note. A quarter note is worth 1 beat. A dotted half note is worth 3 beats. Does 3 equal 1? No, it does not. So we don't use the same amount of bow for 1 as we do for 3. We should use a lot less bow for the note that lasts 3 beats than we do for the one that lasts 1 beat. So slow your bow down on those up bows. Let's keep going in the song. So as you're playing this long note, you're preparing your left hand to go to the D string. So your arm level goes up, your airplane gets ready, and this arm gets ready to go to the D string as well. So watch my arms. Airplane. No broken candy canes. Just a sugar cane going across. If you find yourself reaching with your pinky, if your pinky is not curved and feeling natural, then your hand is too far back. You want to bring your arm and hand forward from the elbow. Keep your fingers where they are, but let them relax as you bring your arm forward. Don't want to come forward with your shoulder, just your elbow. Okay? Going on. Notice I spent more bow before the long note. And then slowed the bow down for the long note. Going on. Right at this part, my left hand has not gone to sleep. It has not stopped playing. Because then I have to jump back. Then I would have to jump back and find those notes again. So instead, my hand is hovering above the string like a hummingbird. Going on. Up the steps, up the steps, up the steps. That third steps, open the arm so that you have enough room for the long note. Then the next note is our first finger. Our hand is already ready. All we need to do is lift all three of these fingers, not one at a time, all three. Boop. And play the E. Spent a lot of bow on this note before the long note here because I have a string crossing as well as a long note. For that string crossing, I'm getting my arm level ready for the A string already. Right? Rather than having to do it after I play the note, I'm going to bring my arm up to the A string as I play the note to prepare for that part, for the last section there. So let's just see that one more time. Spending a lot of bow and getting my arm to the A string, rotating as I do that. Now the last two measures. Is just a D major scale going down. We know how to do that. D major scale going down, but then the last two notes are repeated. So right here we have a string crossing. You want to get ready as you play the open A. Make sure that you do your airplane as you play that open A. You have a whole quarter note, not a whole note, an entire quarter note to prepare for that string crossing. Last time, just to see that again. So that's French folk song. Last thing to keep in mind, we talked about this in the D major scale video as well, but this is a song where you want really smooth bow changes. We don't want to hear lots of articulation and stopping the bow. So that's going to come from making sure that all the fingers are very light and flexible on the bow, making sure that your thumb, that your tooth is very flexible, and that your first finger is very flexible. That is also going to come from, probably even more importantly, going to come from making sure that your bow changes are the same bow speed. As you move your bow, you don't change the bow speed that you're going. At least in this song, at least in this piece, we want it to be consistent, about the same. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just remember your airplane as you go across the strings, making sure that you're smooth, making sure that you're thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so that your long notes are just long enough that you open up right before them, so that you can slow the bow down and play that whole dotted half note rather than cutting it short and getting a scratchy sound. Wonderful. See you on Saturday. Bye-bye.